Can't Hurt Me in 5 Minutes, the book that teaches you how to master your mind. What if the biggest obstacle in your life isn't your circumstances? What if it's the voice inside your head that keeps telling you to stop, to stay comfortable, to lower your standards, to settle for less than you're capable of becoming? This is the powerful message behind Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. It's not just a book about physical endurance. It's a book about mental transformation, a book about breaking through limitations and discovering the strength that already exists within you. David Goggins' story doesn't begin with success. It begins with struggle. He grew up facing poverty, racism, abuse, and constant self-doubt. As a young adult, he felt trapped by his circumstances. He was overweight, working a dead-end job, and deeply unhappy with the direction of his life. Like many people, he blamed his past. He blamed his environment. He blamed his limitations. Until one day, he realized something that changed everything. No one was coming to save him. If his life was going to change, he would have to change it himself. That realization became the foundation of his transformation. One of the most important lessons in the book is the idea of radical accountability. Goggins stopped making excuses. He stopped waiting for perfect conditions. Instead, he accepted complete responsibility for his life. This didn't mean blaming himself for everything that had happened. It meant taking ownership of what happened next. Because while we can't always control our circumstances, we can control our response to them. Another powerful lesson is what Goggins calls the accountability mirror. Every morning he looked at himself honestly. Not the version he wanted to be, the version he actually was. He wrote down his weaknesses, his goals, and the hard truths he needed to face. The lesson is simple. Growth begins with honesty. You cannot improve a life that you refuse to examine. The next major idea is the famous 40% rule. According to Goggins, when your mind tells you that you're done, exhausted, and ready to quit, you're often only operating at about 40% of your true potential. Most people never discover what they're capable of because they stop at the first sign of discomfort. The mind creates limits long before the body reaches them, and those limits can be challenged. The book teaches that real growth begins where comfort ends. Most people spend their lives avoiding discomfort, but discomfort is where confidence is built. It is where discipline is forged. It is where transformation happens. Every difficult workout, every uncomfortable conversation, every challenge you choose to face instead of avoid, these moments strengthen the mind. Goggins calls this process callousing the mind. Just as repeated friction toughens the skin, repeated challenges strengthen mental resilience. You become stronger not by avoiding hardship, but by confronting it. The book also introduces a powerful tool called the cookie jar. Whenever Goggins faced a challenge that seemed impossible, he reminded himself of previous victories, past struggles he had survived, past obstacles he had overcome, past moments when he refused to quit. He stored these memories like cookies in a jar. Whenever doubt appeared, he reached into that jar and reminded himself of his own strength. It's a powerful reminder that confidence doesn't come from positive thinking alone. It comes from evidence. Evidence that you've already overcome difficult things before. Another lesson from the book is that suffering has value. Modern culture teaches us to avoid pain whenever possible. But Goggins argues that adversity can be a powerful teacher. Difficult experiences reveal character. They expose weaknesses. They force growth. While no one seeks suffering for its own sake, challenges often become the moments that shape us most. The goal is not to have an easy life. The goal is to become the kind of person who can handle a difficult one. Perhaps the greatest lesson in Can't Hurt Me is that your past does not have to define your future. No matter where you start, no matter what mistakes you've made, no matter how many times you've failed, you have the ability to change, to grow, to become stronger than you were yesterday. David Goggins transformed himself not because he was extraordinary, but because he refused to accept the limits he once believed were real. And that's the challenge he leaves for all of us: to stop negotiating with our excuses, to stop settling for comfort, and to discover how much more we're truly capable of. Because the greatest limitations are often the ones we place on ourselves. And when we learn to overcome them, we begin to unlock our true potential. That is the timeless wisdom of Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Closing thoughts. If you enjoyed this summary, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more powerful book summaries that can help you grow, think differently, and live better. What was your biggest takeaway from Can't Hurt Me? Was it the 40% rule, the accountability mirror, or the idea of embracing discomfort? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, you are stronger than you think, more resilient than you realize, and capable of far more than your mind often allows you to believe. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep becoming the best version of yourself. Thank you for listening.